Hey everyone, Atano here, and welcome back. Today is the next installment video in our machine guide series, and today we are going to be focusing on the Tremortusk. By the end of this video, you'll know everything you need to know about them, from their strengths to weaknesses, to what resources they carry, and most importantly, how to take them down. I had a lot of fun making this guide in particular, so if you've been enjoying this machine guide series so far, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next upload. Without further ado, this is all you need to know about the Tremortusk. The Tremortusk is a heavyweight combat class machine introduced in the later portion of the game and are one of the more menacing and formidable foes you'll encounter in the Forbidden West. They are easily recognizable by their daunting size, heavy armor plating, and arsenal of ranged combat weapons situated on their back. You can find them in various environments throughout the Forbidden West, including the desert and the snow. Their design is based off the mammoth with their large tusks and trunk, downward sloping back, and slow moving speed. They may be one of the slower machines in the game, but you should still always have your guard up when fighting one. The Tremortusk is essentially a walking tank with its high variety of ranged attacks. It uses its long-range missile launchers and dual plasma cannons to make up for its lack in speed to keep you on your toes during the fight. And then in a moment's notice, they can charge towards you and knock you down with any of their 4 tusks. The Tremortusk can even provide a 25% damage buff for itself when it so pleases. And be sure to watch out for the widespread shockwaves that are produced when they slam their feet to the ground. The Tremortusk can inflict a wide variety of elemental damage types from shock, plasma, and even fire. On top of this, their missiles will inflict ranged impact damage, and any of their tusk attacks will deal melee damage. It's important to go into the fight with an outfit that meets these strengths with resistances against them, although resistance versus ranged impact damage and melee damage should be seen as more desirable. Any of the legendary outfits that can be obtained at the Maw of the Arena with Hunter medals will provide ample ranged and melee resistances. The Karja Stalker Elite will provide additional plasma and shock resistances, making it a suitable choice to use in a fight with a Tremortusk, while the Nora Thunder Warrior will provide comparable ranged and melee resistances with helpful perks like deep concentration and increased weapon damage. But if you decide to go with an earlier game outfit, the Nora Sentinel and Nora Valiant will both provide decent ranged, melee, and elemental resistances. Regardless of the outfit you choose, be sure to equip relevant outfit weaves to further increase your outfit's overall stats and defense. For weapons, Hunter Bows and Shredder Gauntlets are going to be great choices for tearing off the Tremortusk's ranged weaponry and resources. I enjoy using the Ancestor's Return, which can be obtained after collecting and returning all ornaments to Stemmer at Hidden Ember. It has high tear damage that can multiply as you continuously catch and throw at shredders, while also providing shock shredders, which can be helpful against the Apex variant. Sharpshot bows with high impact damage can also be helpful in dealing significant damage to a Tremortusk. The Forgefall Sharpshot bow that can be obtained at the arena is my go-to Sharpshot bow. I equip some impact and overdraw damage coils to really increase its damage output, but first inflicting the Tremortusk with the Frozen status will ensure that I'm getting the highest damage output possible from that bow. The Tremortusk's main strengths are its arsenal of ranged combat weapons, high damage melee attacks, and wide variety of elemental payloads. Its body is strong versus fire damage, but weak versus frost, while its Apex variant is strong versus plasma and purge water, but weak versus shock. Its main weak spot will be its blaze sac located on its stomach. Destroying this sac at the start of the encounter could provide useful, as it will disable all the Tremortusk's fire attacks, leaving you with one less elemental resistance to have on your outfit. If you decide to keep some distance from you and the Tremortusk during your encounter, they will use their arsenal of ranged combat weapons to deal damage to you. These attacks include firing high-speed missiles from one of its 4 salvo cannons, homing shock projectiles from its back cannons, and plasma waves from its dual plasma cannons located underneath its eyes. If you find yourself getting overwhelmed by the amount of range attacks coming your way one after another, all of these weapons can be disabled with either tear or impact damage. This can be made simple by shocking or tying down the Tremortusk and removing them while it's immobile. The salvo cannons also have a heat sink beneath them that will glow red when they are on cooldown. A well-placed shot from your bow can deal high damage to this weak spot. It's also worth mentioning that the shock cannons and the plasma cannons can both be picked up to then use against the Tremortusk. Now, when you're not at a distance from the Tremortusk, it will use its high damage melee attacks instead. Many of these come from its tusks and require good dodge timing. but you can disable some of these attacks by tearing off its tusks. The Tremortusk will also use its large stomping attack that creates a fast-moving shockwave, but with a well-timed jump, you can avoid this. Be sure to also look out for when the Tremortusk sprays a red gas on itself. This is a 25% damage buff and can really ramp up the difficulty of the fight, especially when used by its Apex variant. The sack containing this amplifying liquid can be found covered in armor just in front of the blaze sack. If you'd like to prevent it from possibly using this attack more than once in a fight, then go ahead and detonate it. Lastly, if you'd like a quick way to take down any Tremortusk, try this technique out. First, inflict it with the frost status. When a machine is frozen, they take increased impact damage. Then activate the power shot Valor Surge. When fully upgraded, this Valor Surge increases your damage output by 200% for the next 5 bow shots. Then using your Forge Fall Sharpshot bow with increased impact and overdraw damage coils, you can melt this machine in just a matter of seconds. When destroyed, the Tremortusk, like all other machines, will provide you with a variety of loot with different percentages, but the important loot used for your gear upgrades are the Tremortusk Primary Nerve with a 63% chance to drop, the Large Machine Core with a 69% chance to drop, and the Tremortusk Tusks with a 100% chance to drop if removed with tear damage before destroying the machine. It's important to note here that each Tremortusk has 4 tusks, so obtaining all 4 might be in your best interest. Furthermore, if left intact during the encounter, the amplifying sack will have a 100% chance of dropping volatile sludge, which is a necessary resource for crafting advanced ammo types. Another easily exploitable loot source will be their 4 ammo drums. These will also provide various loot, including a 25% chance to contain blast paste for any explosive ammo. And finally, on the Apex variant, you'll definitely want to loot the Apex Tremortusk Heart and the Luminous Brainstem, both with a 100% chance to drop when defeated. Tremortusk can be a challenging but very fun machine to take down in Horizon Forbidden West, and I hope this mini guide has helped you in some capacity for when you take them on in a fight. If you'd like to see more machine guide videos, go ahead and click on that video right there on your screen, and definitely give this video a like. It helps out the channel tremendously. Thanks for tuning in today. I'll see you all in the next one.